All right, we're going to wait a little bit for others to join, and then we'll get started. I've got another phone running the live stream so that I'm able to answer questions and whatnot. Hello, Stephen and Daniel. Yeah, it is kind of cozy. Yeah, got the fireplace going. It's like being stranded in style is what I'll call it. Yo, Dax, how's it going, buddy? Hey, Maturin, how are you doing? Pascal, hello. All right, so we're just going to give it a minute or so. If you're watching this live stream, like after the live stream's done, you're just watching, the video. You could probably fast forward. Do people still say fast forward? I don't know. You could probably just go to like the 3 or 4 minute mark, and that's probably where we'll get going. Just waiting to see, for more people to join and whatnot. Okay, and also I'm going to do an AMA today. So you can ask me anything within reason. Okay. Oh, why don't I hear Barry White playing? Steven's asking. This is actually Netflix fireplace because when you put on the Tesla fireplace, it has, the loud music and it gets really hot. It blasts the heat. So I went with a Netflix option. But Barry White is always a good call. Of course, I'm here by myself, though. Dax wants to know if I'm camping in here all night. Yeah, I'm going to camp in here all night. I'm serious. I got my sleeping bag. I'm going to do a follow-up video in the morning, so we'll see things like how much state of charge did we use up overnight, all that kind of stuff. All right, so it looks like we've got enough people joining at this point that let's get started. All right. Before I get to questions, and I will do like a full AMA, I'm just going to talk about the scenario and talk a little bit about, if you live in a northern climate, the type of stuff you should always have with you because you never know, right? So basically the scenario here is that, I don't know, you're driving somewhere, you're remote, there's nothing around, and you happen to hit a patch of ice, you go into a ditch or something, and you can't get your car out, and you're stranded there for the night. So that's just a scenario, right? So, what do you do? And, and with the Model 3, will you be able to do it in comfort, right? So that's kind of the scenario that I want to talk about. You could go a little bit deeper and say, there's an alternate scenario where maybe you don't have any juice left, right? And we'll talk a bit about that later. But before we do, in this particular scenario, I'm going to assume that you do have some battery left and you'll be able to do this in style like I am today. All right, so what do I carry with me all the time? So in my frunk, in time, this kid just ran across my lawn. Must be excited about the YouTube video. I don't know. So where was I? Yeah, so what do I keep? In my frunk, I keep a sleeping bag. So this right here is just a kind of a light sleeping bag. It's good for, I think, 10 degrees Celsius, 50 Fahrenheit. So I'm assuming that if I do get stranded, I am going to have some juice. If you're worried about, maybe not having juice, one of my son's friends. Okay. If you're worried about not having juice, then I would go for a serious sleeping bag, that's good for like -20 or something like that. What else do I have in my bag at all times? And I keep this in my back seat most of the times, but I have water, right? You got to have snacks. I've got my Cliff protein builder. I like this one. I've got another one, good fats, for when you don't want the carbs, you just want the fat. All right, so I always keep snacks. I keep water with me. In my front, I also have an emergency kit. So you have some flares, you know, some, you know, whatever's included in the emergency kit. I haven't had to pull it out yet, but maybe I should have done this for that video, for this video, but okay. And everything that I have that I just mentioned basically fits in the front, right? And a backpack that I just keep in my back seat. So that is my survival stuff that I always carry with me in the wintertime. Oh, there's one more thing. It's like Steve Jobs, one more thing. Where is it? Yes, you got to have this stuff. This is for your lips. Minus 16, your lips are going to fall off. Trust me. So got the lippy going. All right, and so the scenario for I'm going to do tonight, I'm not going to live stream the whole night, but I am going to sleep in the car. I am going to take a look at some of our stats here, show you our starting point, show you that if you had to be overnight and you know, you're wondering how much battery you're going to use, I'll be able to tell you that. So there'll be a follow-up video either tomorrow or Saturday when I get a chance. Okay, let's just glance at the questions here. Yes, Pascal, I am on battery right now. I'm actually, it's surprisingly warm. I've got it set for 22 degrees Celsius. I think that's somewhere in the neighborhood of 75 Fahrenheit. And yeah, I'm hot. So I'm not worried about being cold tonight, that's for sure. I did a similar video last year in similar conditions and used about 15% state of charge overnight. So, and right now, let me just go show you what our starting point is. Okay, hopefully you'll be able to see this here, but we're at 62% state of charge. So I'm going to call this our starting point right now. And it's, you know, the battery's obviously quite cold. I did not plug in before this. I wanted this to be, you know, kind of, I don't know if realistic's the right word. It doesn't feel realistic, right? Like I'm stranded, but chances are if you do get stranded, you're not going to have 100% state of charge. So anyhow, the battery, you can tell by the blue. I'm not sure if that's coming up in the live stream, but part of the battery is blue. That means it's the battery is cold. So I expect in the first little while we're going to plow through some state of charge, and then I'll average it out over the night. Okay. In terms of settings, let's just go over to the climate for a minute. And what I do is I always set, obviously, the climate to be on when the car locks, right? So that way I don't have to worry in the middle of the night about waking up and it being minus 16 in the car, right? So what I sometimes do, because I've done this you know, before just to test it out, is I have the back vents also on. However, it does get hot. I'm telling you, it gets hot in this car. If you got the back vents off, right now I have them off, because if they're on, I'd be sweating right now. Let's see here. What else do you want to know about the starting point here in terms of you know, state of charge or anything like that? Let me go back to the questions. Okay, let's see here. Close your left coat hook. You don't impale yourself during the night. Ah! Okay, well, that's about right. There we go. My right, your left. Let's see here. Is it better to turn on your heated seats or your heater? In terms of the amount of energy you're going to use, your seats will use a lot less energy. I think they're maybe 60 watts or something, if I recall correctly. So yeah, you could put that sucker on full, you know, be in the front seat, even the back seat with the heated seats, and you probably would be okay. Because I'm not worried about battery drain, and you know, that could be your circumstance too. I've got the heat cranked up. If I was low on battery, I would do exactly what you were asking. I would just use the heated seats. Okay, let's see here. Okay, am I going to leave it at the same temp all night? Have I considered lowering it to 19 Celsius and wearing a sweater? That's a great question. Right now at 22, I'm hot. So I think if I put it down to 19 and got into the sleeping bag, I think I would be fine. I think I could go down even more than that. Um, I mean, the theory is obviously if you aren't heating it as much, that you shouldn't use as much energy. So that's always a possibility. Let's see here. 22 degrees Celsius is warm. I was worried about being cold, but it's hot in here. Like, yeah, you could I could have a sauna back here. Let's see here. Do I have one of those fold-out mattresses for the bed? Not for this example. So the scenario that I wanted to capture is when you're stranded by surprise. So I don't have a foam mattress. I don't even have a pillow. So basically I only have what I always carry with me, which is basically the sleeping bag. I've got a coat which I'll kind of wrap for a pillow. So I'm trying to stick to the actual scenario. How much degradation does my Model 3 have? It's If you watch Tesla Bjorn, which a lot of people do, he's done some great videos on battery degradation, and it's actually very difficult to capture it. And I wish that Tesla made it easier for us to kind of just see the state of our battery health, kind of like how you can do on the iPhone, right? You can see the state of your battery health. So I actually don't know. I've done some rough calculations, and I think I've lost between 3 or 4% in the past 18 months since I've had the car. Let's see here. Can I play Beach Buggy 3 right now? I could. Um, if I was in the front seats, I would do it for you right now. Maybe I'll do another video where I live stream Beach Buggy. Actually, I was talking to my buddy, Dax, who also has a great YouTube channel. You should check it out. Him and I were trying to figure out how we could both live stream together, and maybe that's one of the things that we can do is play Beach Buggy. I don't know, compete against each other or something. Not sure if that's possible, but we'll find out. Yeah, Dreamcast is that's that mattress. I have seen it. There's a few videos on that. That'd be great to have. I mean, if you're planning a trip, right? I would absolutely, you know, have one of those mattresses. 'Cause I know tonight my ass is going to be sore, right? From the it's pretty hard, right? And this is a pretty thin sleeping bag that I have. So if you're planning to sleep in your car, yeah, get one of those mattresses. Yeah. Okay. So someone was asking about the mattresses that fit into the lower section of the trunk. I have seen that, and actually, the company reached out to me and asked if I would do a video on their products. So I might do that because that's very interesting to me. Because then you can have your emergency kit, but still have a lot more comfort than this, right? Okay. Is it possible to lock the car while you're inside of it and the car is in park? This is an excellent question. It's yes, you can, but there's a but. A lot of people are using their phone as a Bluetooth key, so you have to make sure that you turn your Bluetooth off on your phone. Otherwise, after you, there's a button that you can press in the top left-hand corner to lock the car. But if you have your phone and it's a Bluetooth key and you haven't disabled Bluetooth, the boogeyman can come out of the forest and just open your car. So um, yeah, I will definitely be doing that tonight. I'll be turning Bluetooth off on my phone. Okay. Um, or is there anything that I haven't covered that you'd be interested in knowing about doing this? Now, in terms of the lighting here in the car, like I've got some studio LED lights that are on the ledge behind the back seat. So that's what's illuminating me right now. I also have, you can probably see the white globe down there, which is what I'm going to use at nighttime in case I need to, I don't know, in case I need to do something. um, so yeah, I keep that little light in the car as well. It's rechargeable. It's a great product. Okay. Um, yeah. What else can I tell you here? We talked about our starting point. I think I'm gonna have to play it back, but I think we were at 63. Um, 62 was our starting point. Okay. Um, when I click a song in my Model 3, why doesn't it play the song? It just plays the station. Well, since this, yeah, this is Ask Me Anything. It doesn't have to be related, but this particular scenario where we're camping out in the car. Uh, Feel free to ask any question about Tesla or whatever. Um, yeah, when you click on a song, uh, it just plays the station. Are you using what comes with the vehicle? So what is it? Slacker streaming, I think, is behind it, and because it's not a premium subscription, you can't just dial up a song. When you click on a song, it'll play a station based on that song. Um, it's just a licensing issue, but absolutely, if I use Spotify, if actually I let my subscription lapse, but while I had the subscription on Spotify, you could just name a song and it would play right if you click on it. You can also get a premium subscription of Slacker, but I don't know why you would. I'm not sure how many people actually use Slacker. Uh, oh no, somebody doesn't like Bjorn. He treats his cars very rough. Yes, he does. He does. I'm uh, I'm definitely not rough with my cars. Are the back windows tinted at all? Yes, I have. What do I have? I think I have 30% tint on the back. Actually, I have 30% tint all around, so even on the fronts. Yes, I know it's not. It's kind of illegal, but I've had that tint for like I don't know 20 years, and I've never been pulled over. So how do I clean? Oh, farthest. Let's just do this in order. So farthest road trip done. Um, Ever thought of going to Cali? We also have a Model X, which my wife drives, and we drove from Toronto to Disney World in Orlando. So that was about, I don't know, 2,300 kilometers. What's that? 1,800, 1,900 miles? I don't know, 1,800, whatever it is in miles. So that's the longest one that we did. We had to supercharge, I think, 10 or 11 times each direction. We have the P, not the P. We have the 75D Model X. With the Model 3, the furthest trip we ever did, we went from the Toronto area up to northern Quebec, an area called Charlevoix, and that was, I think, probably in the neighborhood of 1,400 kilometers each way. Okay, how do I clean my Model 3? In the wintertime, it's hard. Sometimes, like, because in the wintertime, if you live in a northern climate, you know what I'm saying, where you have to turn the water off to the outside of your house because you don't want your pipes to freeze. So in the wintertime, it's very hard to keep clean. Sometimes I'll do a bucket wash. I did a video on that. Sometimes I'll break down and go to one of the drive-through car washes that are touchless. Although I've heard that some people have had issues with the pressure of that spray, getting inside of their headlights and stuff like that. It's never happened to me, but I have heard of that. So wintertime is very hard. In the summertime, I just do a good old-fashioned hand washing um, with a mitt. Okay, next one. What did you think of Sean Mitchell and Sandy Monroe talking about the Cybertruck? Oh man, I watched so much stuff about the Cybertruck, and I'm drawing a blank on Sean Mitchell and Sandy Monroe. Sorry about that. Um, whereabouts in Canada am I? So I'm north of Toronto. The biggest city nearest to me is called Barrie. It's probably about 200,000 population. The Greater Toronto area, I'm not sure. I think it's like 5 or 6 million now at this point. But um, yeah, that's geographically where I am. Uh, on that point, it's not normally this cold. Like to go down to -16. Um, it happens like a few times a year where we'll get like this wicked, cold snap. It's called a polar vortex. It's actually a word for it, where the jet stream comes down low. Sometimes it goes as far down into the U.S. as like Florida's been hit by our polar vortex before. Obviously, they don't get the same negative temperatures that we do, but um, yeah, I mean, it does get cold sometimes, but it's unusual, right? It's usually about the average temperature here in December is probably 0 or 1 degree Celsius. So, okay, let's see here. Does the car have a function that will automatically turn the climate control off to conserve energy? Uh, yes, it does. However, I have overridden that so that it stays on while I'm sleeping. But in normal circumstance, if you walk away from the car, it'll automatically turn off. Let's see here. The long range rear wheel drive to me is the best. That's the one I have. I agree with you. um, it's most efficient. That is true. I did a video on that where I compared the actual efficiency of the Model X and the Model 3. Uh, yes, I agree too. I really like the Model 3 performance. I would take that over the Model S. Not that I don't like the Model S. I don't want to offend any Model S people out there. It's a great car too. I would just prefer the Model 3 performance. Yeah, I know it's a shame that they don't have the long range rear wheel drive, but I'm sure there are many accountants who have looked at the numbers and said, these are the products that we need to sell to stay in business and make the most margin. So, um, as much as I'd like them to bring it back, I do want them to make a, good margin on each of their vehicles so that they can stay in business and continue to dominate. I can't wait to see what Tesla does next over the next few years. Will SR Plus be enough for daily commute from Aurora 400 to Highway 7, 100 kilometers return trip in harsh Canadian winters? Absolutely. You're the most range that I've ever lost in extreme cold was about 40%. So if you look at the SR Plus, it's somewhere in the neighborhood, I think it's 402 kilometers now is the range of the SR Plus. So even if you lost half your range, you'd still have 200 kilometers. So I wouldn't hesitate. If your budget is SR Plus, I wouldn't hesitate if you have a 100-kilometer return trip, even in the worst winter conditions. Let's see here. Oh, we have someone from Saskatchewan. Hello. Um, uh, oh, someone's just doing the research right now on electric cars versus cold. Let me know if you have a specific question about that, Corey, and I'll try to answer it for you. Oh, yeah, Christian is saying, but the Tesla stock, the current price, the shorts are feeling. Are there any shorts left? I don't know. The way I know that the shorts are really hurting is I don't see them commenting on my videos anymore. I don't see them commenting on my Twitter or my Facebook. The Facebook used to be the worst. I have a Facebook page for Tesla Connect, and I just attracted every short you can imagine, and it's just nothing lately. So I know they're hurting. Um, yeah, let's see here. Okay. Um, yeah, so if I'm happy to answer more questions if people still want to hang out with me. I've got what is it? It's 9:25 in the evening. I usually stay up late. Okay. So, uh, so Corey says more. Sorry, you get older, you can't freaking see anymore. I'm like, small font. I should have increased the font there. Um, I'm dating myself. So yeah, Corey, I think what you're saying is that, I mean, if you can swing the if that's in budget to swing the long range all-wheel drive, that's what I would recommend. Even though the SR Plus with 402 kilometers of range, that's pretty decent. Our Model X only has 383 kilometers of range, and we drove to Florida and back. My wife has a big commute. She does about 200 kilometers for her commute twice a week, and I the SR Plus I think is one of the best values out there. To be honest with you. Okay. Wow, there's still 19 million shares short. Christian is saying, whew, man, I some people are probably going to lose everything. It's they bet on the wrong horse, as they say. Am I going to do a live stream in the morning? Do you really want to see me in the morning? I don't know. Let me think about that. I could do a live stream in the morning to do a recap. Um, that's probably a good idea. Will the Tesla charge at the new Petro Canada chargers? So in Canada, we have this is really interesting. It's a great question. So we have a gas station chain, big oil company called Petro Canada, and recently they have started building out um, a charging network. So I'm trying to think of if anyone knows who's watching, I think they are 250 kilowatt capable. I'm not entirely sure, but you would need a CCS adapter for that, uh, which I don't even know if they make that adapter yet. So you'd probably end up with a CHAdeMO adapter, and that would get you about 50 kilowatt charge rate. But yes, it will work with CHAdeMO in the Model 3 as of I think 6 months ago or so. Uh, that was rolled out. So CHAdeMO does work with the Model 3. So the answer to your question, Doug, is yes. Sorry, I can be long-winded. See, would I trade in my Model X for a Model Y? My wife and I have been talking about that. It might happen actually. We've had our Model X for about 2.5 years. We love it. It's fantastic. But range is king, right? And I know that I said SR Plus is great at the 402, and it is because of its efficiency. But 383 on the Model X in terms of kilometers of range is, my wife would prefer more range. So that's the only reason why we're thinking of swapping it out for the Model Y. I'll bring you. Thanks, Dax. Dax going to bring me coffee in the morning. That's a big drive for you, Dax. Okay. So, yeah. So, what do you guys think about the setup? Right? Like, could you see yourself being cozy in here? Uh, and to be honest with you, I mean, there's room for a second person. So, if you're stranded with your significant other or something like that, uh, two people, I think it's side by side quite comfortably. Basically, you flip the rear seats down. Right now, my legs are basically in the trunk. Um, it's not so bad. It's not so bad at all. Let's see. Sorry about that. How long was I out for? Sorry for the noise there. Just remounting the camera. Okay. Sorry about that extreme close up of my giant nose. Okay, how long was I out for? Maybe a minute. Okay, thanks, dude. Yeah, so the live streaming is great, but sometimes, like I've got, you know, full signal. I don't know. Someone nuked Canada. Who would nuke Canada? We're offensive to nobody, I think. I don't know. Let's see here. It's okay to have a little bit of fun in the comments. Go ahead. I know I say about funny and that kind of stuff. Oot, especially apparently I say oot. I don't know. Yes, thank you for the 15. Oh, we're back up to 20. Yeah, that's it is funny. That's a nice problem to have, I guess, when you lose your Wi-Fi while camping. Ooh, I didn't know that the HVAC was going to extend to the Cybertruck bed. I've actually ordered a Cybertruck, so my plan is that I will get rid of the Model 3 when the Cybertruck comes, and we'll probably get the Model Y and replace the Model X. So that is our plan. I know. I've yet to hear Canadian say a boot either, but apparently we do. I don't know. I'm just probably numb to it. Give it time. You guys are hilarious. Andrew, have you ever towed a boat or trailer with your ex? How is the range loss when towing? We actually don't have a uh, trailer hitch. So we have a 2017 Model X, and I purchased it just before it was standard. So you know how Tesla does that, right? There's no concept of a model year. The vehicle can change at any time. Literally, like a couple days after I ordered, that was standard, and hardware 2.5 was standard. Our Model X is still hardware 2.0, which is you know I'm gonna do a video about living with hardware 2.0, but it kind of sucks. I imagine though range loss would be pretty extensive hauling something. I think Tesla Bjorn hauls a lot of stuff. I'm sure he's done a video on that. Oh, when I was talking about the lighting, maybe I was offline, but I just have two small studio LED lights behind the camera. Okay, so it's 9:35. I don't know. Do you want me to keep going? You guys having fun? Let me know if you're having fun. I'm having fun. I enjoy hanging with you guys. Favorite Model 3 feature? Ooh, how do I pick? um, it's definitely got to be the fart app. No, I'm just kidding. It's not the fart app. My favorite feature is the autopilot and navigate on autopilot. It's just with every software release, it just gets better and better. The new automatic lane change. I mean, Dax just did a video on it. The lane changes are crisp and fast. I just love autopilot. I can't wait till full self-driving is here. I guess when you commute for as long as I have, that's the kind of feature that you really want. Not that I don't like driving the car. I love driving the car, but I love driving it on my terms. Not on some, you know, uh, freeway going 5 kilometers an hour. What camera am I using? Okay, so this is also interesting because if you follow my channel, you know I'm also a smartphone. Um, what's the word I'm looking for? I buy a lot of smartphones, so I've tried them all, and for live streaming, the best one is the Samsung Galaxy Note 10, in my opinion. The problem with the iPhone 11 Pro or the 11 as well is that the YouTube live stream app does not let you use the iPhone's wide angle camera. So um, once that's, I'm assuming that the app will be updated so you can use the wide angle camera, and I'll try the iPhone 11 again. But right now, the Note 10 uh, does the job. Hey, what's up? Franklin's in the house. Do you want to let people know your alter ego? Can I tell them? All right. This is Tesla Mother Frunker in the house, otherwise known as Franklin. He also has a great channel. If you haven't checked it out, you should check out his channel. He does a lot for the community. I mean, him and Dax, like the three of us are kind of like three peas in a pod there. Actually, maybe you can let me know. I mean, um, live streaming with the Note 10, from my perspective, works really well. But what do you think about the video quality, the sound? I'm not using any external mic. I figured you know, there's no road noise or anything like that. When on autopilot, if I make a lane change, does it disable or resume when I complete the lane change? So if you're I because I have full self-driving, I'm not sure of what is included in the base model. Um, Anyone can help me out here? I don't think auto lane change is included, is it? Oh, thanks, Dax. I appreciate that. Thanks, Franklin, for chiming in with that. I appreciate it. This is a great conversation. Oh, wait a minute. Am I gone again? Oh, no, I'm back. I thought the stream was going to cack out again. Ah, good, good. Hey, Turnerhead, how's it going? I gotta say, this is really cozy and a lot more comfortable. Like, it's hard to imagine um, doing this in another car, right? Like, if you had an internal combustion engine, you can't sleep in the car because, well, I mean, you could get choked out by the fumes or something overnight. Um, this is really unique to be able to do something like this. I gotta tell you, I love it. Now Franklin's in with his mother frunker now. Yeah, very cozy. Like, it's very cozy. I've got snacks, I've got water, um, I got a fireplace, right? Like, I don't know if you can hear it in the audio, but I do have the volume up a little bit, so I can hear the crackling of the fire. I'm not sure if that's coming across though in the live stream, but it's it's pretty awesome, I have to say. Oh, thanks for chiming in with that, Andrew. Appreciate it. Okay, good question, Alan. So Alan saw my video where I was out there trying to make the rear-wheel drive Model 3 skid or lose control. And he has a question about that. He noticed that the end twitches a bit when I accelerate coming out of a corner. Yeah, if you're accelerating too hard and it's really slippery, my winter tires, they've been through a season and a half now. They're not as grippy as they used to be. The Model 3 is very heavy for its size, so you tend to go through a little bit more rubber. But I've noticed that this year too, where there's a little bit of movement in the back. So I figure it's more related to the tires than in the traction control. Because beyond that little bit of movement, you're shut out from basically getting into worse trouble. I mean, you'd have to really, really try to get into trouble with the rear-wheel drive Model 3, just because the traction control is that good. All right, see you, Dax. Thanks for joining. Some other funkers asking me what mattress I have. I don't have any. I just have a sleeping bag. In the beginning, I was talking about the scenario where I just wanted to have what I keep in the car, because the scenario I'm trying to do here is that you're stuck, maybe went into a ditch or something, you can't get your car out, you're stuck for the night, and you only have what you have. And in the winter, I carry this stuff in my car. So I don't have a pillow, I don't have anything, I'm roughing it tonight. But I just want to remain true to the scenario. Let's see here. I think... do you insulate the windows? No. I've seen Tesla Bjorn do that. That's actually a really great idea. But again, the scenario is one that this happens to you. It's not planned. So I don't have those things in my car. I don't tend to keep that stuff in my car. The stuff you put over your windows. I probably should. Let's see here. Okay, if the Model 3 long-range all-wheel drive puts out 518 kilometers, what's the range on the Model 3 rear-wheel drive? That's a really great question. I haven't done a calculation of that recently, and it'd be difficult to do that in the wintertime, obviously, because of the extreme cold temperatures. But it feels like I have more range than stated, right? Than what Tesla says that you have. So I went to, like, for example, on the trip to northern Quebec that we did this past summer, I did 600 kilometers, between doing charging, right? And I still had like a 15-20% state of charge. So granted, it was 30 degrees Celsius out, but the range, to me, it just feels like a lot more than Tesla says you have. It's not scientific, it's just anecdotal, what I can tell you. Yeah, I think you're right. I think traction control does have to slip a little bit before it kicks in. Let's see here. Yeah. So Turner had saying they saw a video of a guy supercharging and sleeping in the back seat. He didn't lock the door, and some dude just hopped in his car. So I was talking about that earlier. So if you're going to do this, if you're going to sleep in your car and you're using your phone as a Bluetooth key, you have to disable Bluetooth on your phone. Otherwise, yeah, anyone can come up and just open the door because your phone is in proximity of your car. Oh, my fireplace is over. So now I got don't can I say, I can say that on YouTube, right? Don't fuck with cats. Okay. I'll watch that later. That's too bad about the fireplace. Okay. Not a Tesla question, but what's your thoughts on foldable phones? Thank you for asking me a phone question. In a second life, I would like to come back as MKBHD or something, Marquez Brownlee. I love like smartphones and tech. Um, let's see, what was the question again? Foldable phones. So the I've actually I've used the Samsung Galaxy Fold. It's interesting, but I didn't really like it. The screen is it seems quite fragile to me, uh, and when it's folded, the screen is too small for me. So I didn't really like it, but I do like the idea of the new Motorola Razr that I saw just recently on MKBHD, and I think Lou from Unbox Therapy also did that one. That one is interesting to me. Ooh, um, I can't make out the name, but someone was saying that they think the programmers may have said it so the car will drift just a bit on purpose. That wouldn't surprise me. Just give us a little bit of fun before the traction control kicks in. Oh, Tesla owners online, thank you for joining. That's awesome. Thank you so much. I will definitely check it out if it's if people are enjoying that one. I do have two cats. I'm just saying. Okay, Android blows. I use both. There's room for two, and there's things I like about iPhone. There's things I like about Android, and I'm a tech guy. I like them both. This could become a battle royale if we start talking about Android versus iPhone. Okay, Alan wants me to talk about range degradation in winter driving, how much range you typically use when it drops below -8 for summer. Okay, so in the summertime, let's start with the summertime. In the summertime, I tend to get somewhere in the neighborhood of 20% better than rated range on average. In the wintertime, when it drops below, let's say a -8, when it gets really cold, the worst battery loss that I experienced was about 40%, and that was on a -30 morning going to work. Now, keep in mind you can precondition the battery, which I always do. So that might have played a factor. Perhaps the range loss would have been more, but that's the worst I've ever experienced, and it was -30. So it's your first winter. So Alan, I what's your how far is your commute both ways? I don't think you have anything to worry about. Am I plugged in? No, I'm not plugged in. Where do we send 911 in case I freeze to death? I'm gonna go out on a limb and say I'm gonna be fine. even if even if the battery, something weird happens and I have no battery left, I got a sleeping bag, I'll be fine. Let's see here. Do you know the range of the phone app? Can I wake it from a distance? Like, you know what? So someone is asking if using the app, if you can wake the car or something like that when it's far away. And absolutely, I've been in California. My car's been back at the airport in Toronto, and I can access all the features of the vehicle. It's totally connected. So if you lock it from the screen, you can still get into the car from the outside if you have your Bluetooth key. I've I've experimented with this. Actually, I did a video on it. The scenario was, you're late for your train, your commuter train, and you run out of your car, you run on the train, and then you realize that you left your phone. So you use, a buddy's phone to lock your car, but then somebody can still pull on the handle and open your car, unless something has changed in the 9 months since I did that video. Oh, Is it, I'm not sure if that's Trevor, but thank you about just being or just kidding about Android. I might have thought you were an Android guy. I don't know. Oh yeah, it's a lot of fun. I agree, Mother Frunker. It's a lot of fun. Have I ever driven a minus 40? No, I think minus 30 was the worst I ever experienced. How long am You know what? I was going to end the live stream like I don't know, half an hour ago, but as long as the discussion is going and people want to hang, um, I'll keep streaming. Yeah, driving downhill does definitely help. I can't argue with you on that one. Hey, thanks, Trev. I appreciate that. You sound like me, just moving between the platforms. It's like I get bored, so I'll get bored of my Note 10, and I'll go back to my iPhone 11 Pro. Um, it's an accessory to me. What do I feel like? What goes with my outfit? At minus 30, how did the car perform? Other than using more juice, there was nothing unusual about the performance. Um, I've hammered it at minus 30 for sure after the battery warmed up. Um, yeah, I didn't. I don't think that there's any issue with performance at minus 30. I don't know. Anyone else back me up on that? Have you had a chance to test out your performance in minus 30? I use the 18-inch tires for summer. That's my preference. I'll tell you why. For me, range is king. The larger the tire, the less range you're going to have. So, in the summertime, I do take off the aero wheel caps though, uh, just to change things up. So I probably lose a little bit there, but um, I actually like the look of the stock rims when you take the aero covers off and you put a center cap on. I think it looks pretty sick. So I do that in the summertime. Holy crap, you've been Android since iPhone 4S, motherfucker? That's a lifetime ago. Yeah, I the only thing that bothers me still about the iPhone, and I'm gonna sound like Jerry Seinfeld here or something, but you know how he's so particular about things, but I just want to be able to put the app icons where I want to put them, right? Rather than, everything on the home screen. I wish there was some concept of an app drawer for iPhone, but yeah. Other than that, I like it. The 19s do look good. Like I'm not going to disagree. Um, if range wasn't king for me, I would absolutely do that. Maybe even bigger. Oh wow, Trevor, you got locked out of your car. You know what? My wife got locked out of the Model X last week too. Um, that's interesting. Someone's asking, does the screen work well at minus 30? Um, in their minivan, the screen goes funky in that temperature. I've I haven't had any issues with the screen either with the Model 3 or the Model X at minus 30. It performs same as it does at plus 30, so no issues there. Okay, someone's chimed in around the minus 30 handling the same. Uh, yeah, definitely have to preheat. I agree. and you lose regen. That's a great point. Thanks for raising the point about regen. In minus 30, even after driving for 50 kilometers or 30 miles, you're probably still not going to have a lot of regen. It takes a long time in that temperature to get your regen back. I agree, Trevor, but I'm just too chicken to do it because I don't want to lose my range. Alan's asking about, it looked like he's coming up to the end of his free kilometers from the referral code. He's asking best practice for routine for charging at home. So, what I usually tell people is even if they have a short commute, to get into the habit of plugging their car in every night. So, if even if you're driving like 30 kilometers, 20 miles a day, something very short like that, I would probably set the charging limit to 60% and just charge every night. um, because the one time you forget is the one time that you really need to have more juice. My pleasure. Yeah, the so Trevor just made a great point on the S and the X. It does have a battery heater, so you do get your regen back quickly. And in fact, the preconditioning I think just works way better with the S and the X. I don't know if you agree, Trevor, but um, I wish that the preconditioning in the Model 3 was better. Okay, I don't think I'll still be streaming when the hockey game ends. Thanks for joining, Mother Frunker. I appreciate it. The X is an energy pig. I completely agree. It is not as efficient as the Model 3, not even remotely close. Okay, so I've been streaming for an hour. At this point, it is a work night. I do have to go to work tomorrow. I'm going to think about doing a short live stream just to recap where we ended off with our state of charge. Our starting point was 62%. So we'll know in the morning just how much juice um, sleeping in the car overnight at this temperature while being comfortable takes up. So I'll think about doing that. If I don't have time to do a live stream, I will do some type of a follow-up video with that information. All right. Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate everybody joining me and spending the time with me here today. If you haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and do so. I love making videos for you guys. And I really love the live streaming because it's a great interactive experience. But that's it for today. So Tesla Canuck, over and out. Don't mind the close up of my face as I go and turn off the live stream.